Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome you to our webinar today with a new normal for your workforce. My name is Anissa Kiamet and I'm part of the international sales team in Spica. We highly appreciate, of course, your participation, and in my intro I will also take the chance to thank our technology partner Microsoft, because the webinar actually results the integrity of our collaboration. Before sharing the agenda details, please allow me just a few words about Spica. We are a privately owned company with headquarters in Slovenia. We are a mixture of developer, meaning that we develop our own software. We manufacture our own hardware, which is tightly integrated with our software. And in local markets, we act as a system integrator with a number of vertical specializations. This includes asset tracking, warehouse management, field sales force automation, retail, and many others, but we will be today focused on security and human resources field. Obviously, we have more than 30 years experience in these two verticals. As well as being a regional leader in our chosen verticals, we also work strongly internationally. We provide our time and attendance and access control solution through an active network of partners throughout the Europe, Middle East, and Africa. If I move to today's topic, it's really obvious that COVID-19 pandemic has catapulted workforces around the world into remote work and significantly different environment than employees were used to. And businesses, companies, and are sort of forced to make adjustments to their operations. And we know that technology plays a crucial role in that. What we'll talk today will be workforce management platform, which is definitely helpful in this regard. And it can help you to operate efficiently, more productively, and more it can do for you is also helping you to automate and customize certain processes. Consequently, of course, also adjust market changes, which are now strongly happening. We will be presenting today our technology tool, which is a solution platform called Time and Space, which consists from few brands and solutions, which we will be mentioning through the webinar. Today's agenda and my colleagues who will take part of it. My colleague Dragan Milutinovic will start presenting all hours time and attendance solution, which supports flexible work arrangements. We see that work from home will likely continue, and therefore flexible and user-friendly solution is needed now to embrace a new way of working. Further, I'm pleased to welcome our guest, Živa Cotić from company Kingsbox, all hours customers, and she will give us insights on a real use case of the all hours solution. We will continue with my colleague from support, Mojca Poličnik. She's an expert in a planning module, aside of course all the others, and dynamic scheduling, or this planning module, can help us to reallocate or shift employees to ensure best utilizations. The last but not the least, it's fact that some employees couldn't or cannot work from home, and some of us were already encouraged to return to work. While this is a case for optimism, the truth is actually that we are still a long way from the mass production and availability of a vaccine, and as a result, we can of course expect physical distancing and other sensible precautions to remain in a place for some time. More about this will be shared by my colleague Jaka Čović. Just before we start, I would just like to invite you to use GoToWebinar control panel, which you see on the right side of your screen. You can submit all your questions here during the webinar, and we will try to answer them at the end of the webinar. Dragan, can you please, the stage is yours. Can you start with all hours, please?
Thank you, Anissa, for your great initial introduction. As Anissa said, my name is Dragan and I'm responsible for all our sales generally in Slovenia. Today I would like to introduce some of functionalities and features of all hours application. But before I start with the introduction of all hours application, I would like to invite you, all of you basically, and your customers, friends, co-workers to register for free trial. Basically, we offer 14 days of free trial, so you can register on webpage allhours.com or speaka.com webpage. I would like to invite you again. Please register and enjoy. So, what is All Hours? All Hours is cloud-based web application which enables you to track working hours via web or mobile application. Of course, it is also possible to track time by clocking with card or badge on a registration terminal. This option is more traditional way of clocking time. However, all data has been captured into a web portal, so it doesn't matter from which source you track your time, or from web application, mobile application, or by registered terminal. So application offers you real-time data of employee presence. Work from home was one of most using clocking events from COVID pandemics till now, but I'm sure that in the future this event will be also using much as possible in the future as well. In terms of leave management, which is also part of all hours application, every absence from work has to be approved by a manager or administrator. So your employees can send the leave request using the web portal or mobile application. Vacation counter provides you with information on how many days of vacation they have left. So there is no need for approvers to periodically check for new requests, because all this kind of requests has been notified by emails. That means that employees are notified where their requests are approved or rejected from manager or administrator of the system. Every clocking events which are entered through the mobile application is connected to the GPS coordinates. If you are an administrator, that means that you can use location or set up location where your employees is allowed to register. If you would like to increase this kind of control for registration, all hours offer you a geofencing. This means that the employee can only clock in or out on the right location which has been set up through the system. So you can use also Bluetooth beacon device for micro location setup, and this device is really useful for set up a micro location in case that you would like to control this more frequently and to assure that employees will register only on the right location. In terms of reporting, which is also important part of all hours application, all hours will basically calculate all hours. So that means that you can download, filled out some timesheets, which is available through the application. All hours will automatically divide the report time into, for example, paid presence or paid absence, or unpaid presence, missing events, vacation, or some other absences. In generally, I can say that this is really powerful calculation engine for reporting, which is useful for your payroll. As well, APIs are available for all hours, which means that you can connect all hours with some third-party programs as well. So for the web application, I can assure you that this is really a user-friendly application. It's also really easy to use, which is really important for the users. It's intuitive web portal which offers some personal time tracking data for each employee. You can clock different events based on which events we configured through the system. To go further with the all hours mobile application, we can see that also the mobile application is similar as web application. Or mobile application also allows you to clock different kind of events. It's really easy to use. You can use your mobile phone. Clocking could be possible also on the correct location in case that you enable geofencing through the system. So clocking options basically become available when location is detected as correct, and with that there is no room for any kind of errors. Through the mobile application you can request some absences, register work from home, check some data, and much more. I already mentioned reporting through the all hours application. So all hours reporting enables to set up different time calculations. I can say that this is a time management system where you can set up different time rules, counters, and accruals. So you can put some different types of categories such as vacations, lunch, nursing, sick leave, and so on. At last but not least, you can also set different event definitions. For example, as I mentioned before, work from home was most using events in the past and will be using in the future as well. Also here in Slovenia, for example, the events short time working is really hot theme in the last few weeks and will be in the future as well. But generally, what is really important to mention from the all hours application is that all hours track exactly what happened with your employees' attendance data, and this comply with the GDPR requirements for any kind of data processing. This is really important part. So with all hours, you can get chronological audit tray. So you can see and check who viewed, created, exported, edited, even deleted any kind of data in the system. So important part is also related to the security because this data is saved in Microsoft Azure platform. So it's assured definitely high security to your data. So that will be all from my side. So Anissa, please take over.
Thank you very much, Dragan. One more time, if I can, I would like you to invite you to try the application. It's free of charge, and we have a great team who will support you during the configuration, which means you will be able to share what is needed for your business and to configure the system to fit you best. I would like now to invite our guest Živa Cotić from company Kingsbox to tell us a bit more about their experience with all hours, which were presented by Dragan just now. Živa, please.
Yeah, hello everyone. I would like to thank the organizers of this webinar and send everyone my warmest greetings from Kingsbox headquarters here in Sežana. First of all, I would like to present ourselves a little bit. I had a video prepared, but unfortunately we had some difficulties with the sound management. So I will present us briefly while the video plays in the background. So who are we? We are Kingsbox. We are producing and selling sports equipment for functional fitness and CrossFit. 5 years ago, our CEO started their business in a garage, and since then we really grew. There are now 18 employees plus some 20 students who are working here part-time. We started with the Italian market, where we are basically one of the most popular brands, and then we slowly added the Adriatic region, Germany, Austria, and now France as our latest addition. Our goal is to be present throughout Europe in the next 5 years, with also the help of our distributors. We are innovative, we are young and very flexible. and I believe we ought our success to that. If I now move forward with all hours, so the fact why we are even here. In the pre-era of all hours, I have to say that we are not, first of all, I have to say that we are not time-based, which means that you don't have to come at 9 sharp and leave at 5 p.m., but we can arrive at work from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. and then we can leave after 8 hours of work. We do have a warehouse that is on a different location from our headquarters. And for practical reasons, the warehouse workers have a slightly different time schedule arrangement. They arrive at 7 or 8, and then they leave at around 3 or 4 p.m. In Slovenia, as you can see written on my PowerPoint, it is legally binding to record working hours like arrival, departure, break time, annual leave, and so on. So we were supposed to track all of these different events. What we did was, as you can see on the right-hand side, we had a spreadsheet with all the names, and then we would just write if we worked an hour less or we had some overtime. And at the end of the month, I would add all the hours, and then every individual had the possibility to either receive the payment for the overtime or take advantage of the extra hours in the following months. There were so many problems with this system. First of all, everyone saw everyone's information, which is of course an invasion of privacy and a breach to the GDPR, although we are all friends in here, but still it's not a good thing to see everyone's information. Second of all, if the labor inspectorate would decide to pay us a visit, we would be in a lot of trouble since we didn't record the arrivals or other above mentioned events. In the warehouse, we had a lot of problems with workers coming late or leaving early, and we could not really control that. I tried a couple of times with printing an Excel sheet so that everyone would write down when they arrived or when they left, but I'll admit it, we forgot about it in a couple of days and we were back to square one. Mainly due to the fact that we wanted to abide to all the laws, and because we are growing very fast, personal-wise, it would be impossible for us to track all the movements as we did and as I presented to you. A friend of mine who also works in HR suggested the All Hours app, and I was very excited, and after I showed it to our CEO, he was hooked on the idea. So at the time, we didn't know how much we will appreciate the decision to start tracking working hours a month before the COVID-19 pandemic erupted. And at the beginning, we set some new rules, and I had a short lecture for everyone on the app itself, on how it works, how we use the card, and how does the PC or the phone app look like. And it's true, as I already said, we are all very young and we have no issues with modern technology, but the system is really so easy that I don't see how anyone could have any problems. Okay, so soon after we implemented the system, the coronavirus pandemic struck, and we were very happy that we implemented the app beforehand because we worked from home, and let me tell you, we really had a lot of work, and the working hours were crazy and it was so stressful. So it was very easy for me to track overtime of my colleagues, and also the employees could work as they pleased. So a couple of hours in the morning, then maybe some relaxing time, a few more in the afternoon. We worked during the weekends also, as you can see here, how we tracked the working hours during the pandemic. May 16th, for example, was a Saturday, we still worked. Then we had some like pause in between and so on and so forth. Everyone was also given their personal card, and we encourage everyone to register with the card, whether in the warehouse or in the office. The card system is really easy to use. I don't think that this part really needs any extra explanation. I'll just say that it works. So we also convinced our outsourced accountant to try the All Hours app. And although she chose the classic version while we have the pro option, she understood the system from the get-go. now I only send her the PDF document that the app produces itself, as you can see on your right-hand side. And in the past, what I had to do is to calculate the overtimes and add all the detail in the Word document. And now I just export the data and voila, it's all done. So besides the easy system, the better organization, no fear of the labor inspectorate, we also gained a great ally with a superb customer support that takes all of our ideas and suggestions into consideration. So yeah, highly recommended. If you'll have any questions for me, I invite you to write me in the chat and I'll try to answer as best as possible. And I give my word back to the organizers. Thank you.
Živa, thank you very much for this interesting presentation. It was definitely useful to hear from the first hand what value can all ours bring to the company. We wish you and all the best in your further business, of course. As I mentioned in the beginning, a workforce management solution shouldn't only raise productivity in the company, but also should help to automate and customize some procedures, and at the same time, of course, take off a huge administration costs. This will be unfortunately must in these times. Moica, please show us how it can be done within dynamic scheduling model.
Hi, thank you, Anisa. My name is Moica Polichnik. I'm a part of technical support team. I have more than 10 years experience in time management. In Speak, I appear in various roles. I'm a consultant. I appear in pre-sales activities. I implement our solution. Because we develop software, I participate in feature set for the new versions. I write functional specification for custom solution. Because I do a lot of different things, maybe I forgot something. So let's start with today's role. I will present our dynamic scheduling. It will be a quick overview how in the new normal dynamic scheduling it can help you. Dynamic scheduling is a web application for planning and scheduling employees. Dynamic scheduling really shines at the time when it's necessary to adapt to a new normal. Employees are coming back to work, so we need to ensure a safe return for them. My colleague Dragan showed you earlier that employees can work from home, but all employees doesn't have option to work from home, so we need to schedule them that prevent the crowd in the front of entrance. How to do that, I will show you later in my presentation. In this slide, you see the main view for planner. Usually he planning for 14 days or a month ahead. So planner select the dates and load the data. Planner will see only employees for which he have authorization. But before he starts planning, he needs to create templates. In dynamic scheduling, templates are working schedules and absences. On the right side of a slide, you see squares which represent schedules and a circle which represents absences. For annual leave, you can see that we have a yellow sun. Also, administrator can set up warnings and limits. These are daily rest, weekly rest, warnings about planned Saturdays, and so on. When we set up basic configuration, we can start planning. Planning with dynamic schedule is simple, as you can see in the video. Planner just select the dates and add the right template to user or a group of user. But dynamic scheduling supports so-called quick insert. So planner first select templates and then just click the dates. You can see in the movie. So it's very simple and quickly. When we configure warnings and limits, they can help us when we're planning employees. So planner will be warned during planning, so does not come to overplanned or less planned. The warning is shown as a triangle with exclamation mark. With click on it, the planner receives a warning description. As you can see in warning about daily rest. User was planned for the shift 1, but all through he was planned for shift 2 a day before. Therefore, the daily rest were shorter than required. This was quickly overview for basic planning and dynamic scheduling. Now I will talk about how dynamic scheduling can help you in so-called new normal. New normal means that we need to adapt to new changes. We need to protect the employees, so they need to avoid crowded places. That usually happened on the entrance of the building where employees register arrival. So we suggest that you delayed job arrivals. Simple way to do that is to use dynamic scheduling. Here I prepare example. If we have, for example, 3 production lines, which can work in 3 shifts, but this can be used in any business, not only in production. We want to avoid crowd at the registration terminal. So we select the group of employees which we want to delay shift and change their schedule. So first group of employees will come normally at 6 o'clock, but other group will come at 6:30 a.m. Dynamic scheduling can also help us to manage how many employees are scheduled in different areas. We want to maintain at least 1.5 meter or 3 feet distance between others. So how many employees are planned to work at the office? You can check if you select date in dynamic scheduling. I prepared the example that you will see that we planned 3 employees for 1 office at 6:30 a.m. So you have the number of employees for the whole day. At the end, I will share just a few words about short-time working. Short-time working or short-time is a state-regulated system in which employees agree to or are forced to accept to a reduction of working time and pay. Employees will work less than usually, so we need to plan them less. Here, in example, you see that we plan user only for 20 hours per week. For the other half, user will get a compensation for short time. The calculated data based on a short-time working can be easily transferred to a payroll system according to legislation. That was all from me about how dynamic scheduling can help you in this new normal. Now I pass the microphone to Anissa.
Thank you very much, Mojca. So with the dynamic scheduling, we successfully managed to schedule employees as per our needs, of course, and based on market changes which are happening. What's left is to protect employees in common areas, and I'm passing a microphone to Jaka to tell us more what can we do in this aspect.
Thank you, Anissa. Good day, everybody. Thank you for staying with us so far. My name is Jaka Čović, and I will be representing Špica's R&D department. I'm a development team lead and would like to take this opportunity to present our innovative solution called DoorCloud. First, the basics. What is DoorCloud? DoorCloud is a cloud-based access control system. It is hosted on the Microsoft Azure platform and is currently using Špica's Zone IoT access controller. You can see them on the right. They're the 3 devices. They present a small portfolio which effectively covers most of the access control scenarios. One of the key philosophies behind DoorCloud is its extensive mobile support, which enables greater convenience when using the system. Some of the key improvements are capability of doing readerless access, which we will cover in a future slide, improved system monitoring and system management. DoorCloud also incorporates a partner-friendly management system. Basically, the short version is that there are multiple layers of system administration so that a partner can administer his users freely. But this is most likely outside the scope of the current webinar. If anyone has any questions, please contact us. The current situation with the COVID-19 pandemic is the main business topic, and we will not be the exception with this webinar. So I would like to present some of DoorCloud features which are especially prevalent in these times. First option which I would like to present is an option of integration of a DoorCloud access control system and a thermal camera. Studies have shown that 88.7% of COVID-19 patients have a fever as a symptom, and that a fever is the best indicator of an infection. It is also important to highlight that the best does not mean that it is a certain indicator. There are patients who are asymptomatic, and additional steps are required to ensure the safety of the workforce. Thermal cameras are a very effective option of monitoring human body temperature. They can measure human body temperature relatively accurately from a distance of up to 3 meters with a minimal measurement time. It takes less than a second to measure the temperature. This makes them very suitable for detection of individuals with fever in certain situations. We have integrated such a thermal camera with an access control system, which basically allows for granted access only when the measured person's temperature is within the preset limits. This makes the measurement process efficient, consistent, and free of unnecessary human contact. An also important feature of DoorCloud access control system is the readerless access. Unlike traditional access control systems, where more wall-mounted readers are mandatory, DoorCloud works without them. That means there is no need to drill holes, route the cabling, or have exposed electronic system components on the unsecure side of the door. All you need is a smartphone, DoorCloud account, and one of Spitza's access controllers. Since the core components of readerless access are software-based, this also means that the solution is future-proof. With the arrival of new security algorithms and such, the whole system can be updated remotely. And basically, how does it work? This is a sketch. The whole process starts on the left with the user and his smartphone running the DoorCloud application. The user is presented with a list of doors to which he has access. The list is sorted based on his location. GPS or BLE can be used for exact pinpointing of the location. So basically what happens is the user selects the door he wishes to open, and the application sends the request to the DoorCloud web service. It is illustrated by the cloud on the right. The web service evaluates the access rights of that user, and if they are okay, then sends the, let's call it, open door command to the controller. The controller receives that command and opens the door. So as we can see, there is absolutely no reader required. There is no common contact point of all the users from the system. Another important feature is the killing feature. The killing features deals with the visitors, which are an important section of any access control system. Management of visitors is often problematic, and where mobile solutions fall short are the complications with installation and setup of mobile applications. A very useful DoorCloud feature, Keylink, solves that problem by removing the need for the application. If we look at it, if we look at the sketch, how it works, the owner, or let's say the administrator of an access control system, can create a Keylink. He needs to enter the user's email, the validity of the access, and the exact doors to which the user will have access. The Keylink is then sent to the user as an email. The user can open that email, and basically the email guides him to the doorcloud.com webpage. From that webpage, the user can open doors by simply clicking a button. No need for application, commonly used technologies, and quite easily understandable to everyone. If we go to the details, the story is very similar to the Readerless Access. When the user clicks a button, the request is sent to the DoorCloud web service. If the access rights are okay and everything is correct, a command is sent to the controller, and the controller opens the doors. Basically, this would be it. This is only a couple of DoorCloud advantages. These are mainly tied to the current situation. They handle the touchless access. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jaka. Thanks all the presenters. We have a few minutes left, so we can move to the questions which you sent to us. Can you, Dragan, please read?
Yeah, of course. We received a few questions from your side. Let's go through it. So the first question is related to the all hours application. Is it possible to register work from home from my personal computer? Of course, it's possible, because we are talking about a web application. So you just have to assure internet connection on your personal computer, and you can use all hours application. So this is, you can check like done for this kind of question. Moving forward to the second question, this is related to dynamic scheduling. Where can employees track changes about their working plan? So Moica will provide this answer.
User can track changes over personal view on his/her mobile phone, tablet, or personal computer.
Okay, thank you, Moica. Moving to the next question. Can a Keylink be forwarded and used by multiple persons? So this question is related to the DoorCloud solution. So Jaka, please.
Thank you very much for the question. As I mentioned, the basic, let's call it communication mechanism of the Keylink functionality is an email, which can freely be forwarded to as many people as the user wishes. Please note that any Keylink is valid only in the period to which it is limited. So it eventually expires.
Okay, Jaka, we have one more question related to the DoorCloud. How does the zone spot or zone wing connect to the internet?
Okay, that's an interesting one. Currently, all of our hardware devices connect through the Ethernet connection, but we are constantly improving the firmwares, and we expect to release a firmware which will also support various mobile technologies, such as LTE or 3G, and also Wi-Fi support.
Great. One more question, and then we will close this webinar because we are some kind of in time schedule. So one question was also related to my presentation, to all hours. And the question is, how will the employer be sure that employees are really working when they're clocking their time work from home? So this is really interesting and also tricky question. But generally, from all hours, you can track time for working, so you can track working from home. But if you would like to be sure what they are working, we also have one solution, which is My Hours, and where we can track time for the project. So in case that employee using My Hours, they can track and divide their working hours through the different kind of project. So the employer could check and see how many hours each employee spent on different projects. So that will be for sure the best option to check their activity for the work from home.
Thank you, Dragan. As you said, we are running out of time, so I would like to thank you all again for the participation. Please feel free to use our info@spica.com for any questions. The questions which we did not manage to answer will be provided. Answers will be provided via email. And all I can wish you is stay productive, but of course stay healthy and safe. We wish you a pleasant afternoon. Goodbye.